We're back from our second medication session, and we are the Reefer Reporters. And if you're not sure, we are also live here at 420radio.ca. If you missed our live shows, don't forget they're available afterwards as a podcast at our website or on audio apps such as iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Well, Kim, we're in our last session. What do you think?
Last segment of the day with all this news going on. I didn't think we were going to wade through it all. We're going to head down to the United States and talk a little bit about one state senate down there that's looking at allowing consumption of cannabis for children in schools.
That's right. The Senate there has okayed that by a vote of 35-2.
Excellent numbers.
Excellent numbers.
Not a close vote at all. It zoomed right on through with only 2 dissenters in all. And so that was no challenge at all. This is down in Albuquerque. So the bill is being supported by the senators down there. And she says they are blown away by the amount of support that they've had for the bill since it was first started. So she's quite happy with the progression so far.
Yep, the bill would allow children who are qualified patients to use medicine in school settings and permit school personnel to administer it. So I would have to assume, I'm assuming the nurse would be administering.
Nurses or whatever teacher or secretary is deemed the first aid person of the school if there is no nurse on staff. But yeah, it would be whoever's in charge of taking care of all of the other aches and pains and woes of whatever student comes through the hallowed halls.
Yeah, the senator says that her constituents came to her, were torn between using medicine that's working more effectively for their child's epilepsy with less side effects and volume. And, how can they use this and still be able to go to school?
That's right.
It's good to see this.
So it's great. There are 175 children in the state currently using medical cannabis. So these children, that's a big number. You have to make accommodations for them so that they can continue using the regime of medicine that works for their situation.
Yeah. Now, one of the people who voted not to pass the bill because it did not appropriate money for storing the medicine. Hello? You're going to deny access to kids and their medicine because you're not making money off of it to store it?
Like you store it where you store any other aspirin or any other product on the school property that you don't want in the kids' hands. It's an easy fix. An extra lockbox with inside that cabinet that's made for medicine that is to be kept in schools will suffice. There's no extra funding needed for that. So to me, that just shows where this particular person's mindset is.
Yes. Yeah, that's totally wrong.
Yeah. So they're hoping that this continues through the legislature and passes as quickly as it went through this first stage, and that medical cannabis should be available in schools by the start of the next school year. Yeah.
Now, for places that have opted out down there and they wouldn't allow a child to get his medicine in school, it looks like there's provision that allows parents to appeal to the state public education department if districts are exempted from allowing the medicine at school. Yeah. So there's an exemption in there.
Yeah, some schools will be allowed to opt out, so to speak, I guess, at this point. But there is an appeal process in place if you have a child that's in attendance at one of these schools that makes that choice.
And you got to believe that if the state says it's okay for young Johnny who has epilepsy to take his medication, it's going to overrule any municipal or city
bylaws.
Law. Yeah.
Because that's essentially what they are. They're bylaw regulations that are enacted at the municipal level. And if challenged, I'm sure they'd be overturned.
Yeah, I would hope so. All right, let's move on to our next story.
Yeah, we're going to hang out in the United States for a few minutes. We're going to run over down to Pennsylvania. And the there's Harrisburg, PA. There is the home of a college down there where they're doing some groundbreaking research these days.
Yes, Penn State College of Medicine shows that medical cannabis may stop, we've heard this before, and we've heard this since 1974, the growth of colon cancer cells.
Yeah, they call it groundbreaking research, but I mean, both you and I can produce several documents showing this research has already been done and redone again, and now it's being redone again and being broadcasted as groundbreaking. I'm glad that the research is being done and it's getting out there.
Correct.
And it's being done, I guess, by today's standards in medicine to still be accepted. So that's very important. Past studies have been disputed about because of not having the proper protocols and this sort of thing. So this is really good for the evidence showing that cannabis does in fact stop cancer.
Yeah, this is on the colon, but
this particular one is colon cancer.
Correct. And they say that it is the third most common cause of cancer in the U.S., and it's also the third most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Cancer itself is most, So
colon issues affect a large part of our population in North America. So, these kind of studies are being done all over the place on things that can help these situations. And really overwhelming results coming back out of this study from Penn State.
Yeah, of the 370 compounds, it turns out that 10 of them were fairly effective against all colon cancer cell lines, according to the chairperson of the Department of Pharmacological of Penn State College of Medicine.
Yeah, 10 compounds were fairly effective. I mean, that's huge.
Sure is.
That's huge. I can tell you probably what some of those compounds were, but THC was definitely in there. There's no question. So they of course want to do more studies, and the research will continue.
Yeah, they say their study mainly focused on colon cancer cells, but it could impact other cancer cells as well. So
yeah.
Let's see. The National Institute of Health supported the study, which took over a year and a half.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was just done over a day or two.
No, it was a 18-month study, and the results are favorable for sure. So it definitely proves what we've all been saying all this time.
That's right. Exactly. Well, let's leave the States and let's head over to Europe. Let's check out Turkey.
Yeah, stuff going on in Turkey. Turkey of all places. Turkey is jumping on the bandwagon in cannabis industry. So it looks like Middle East has got more than just Israel that's looking at expansion here.
That's right. Right now, the cultivation of cannabis in Turkey have practically deteriorated in recent decades due to anti-narcotic regulations, but now the president said he intends to restart and even stimulate its production for industrial use.
Yeah. They reported to say we will expand commercial licenses according to demand as they see it, according to a Turkish economist there. He noted there is a joint research project between Black Sea Agricultural Research and Scientific Technology Research in Turkey, which they concluded they could share the cannabis producers and anyone else involved in the sector. So, I mean, big business getting in on this.
Yeah.
It's not little guys getting in on this. We're talking about big business
taking
over the industry over there. So they're seeing the numbers across the globe, and they're seeing the evolution across the globe, and they want in.
Yeah. Now, it says here that I lost it. They blame the U.S. Well, they blame Western imperialists for diminishing what was once a lucrative Turkish cannabis market.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't blame them for that,
no,
right?
No, you can't.
You can't blame them for that stand at all. I mean, because in fact, that's what happened. Anslinger came along and, he petitioned governments and everywhere across the globe, took it to the UN. I mean, he demanded it in trade. It became part of trade agreements and everything else. So it spread like a virus across the globe, and it wiped out a lot of major industry that was based on hemp. And now we're seeing a return to those industries, and people that remember that, they want it back.
Yeah, well, the Institute of Cannabis told the Turkish media that it was distributed seeds to local plantations and experts that by 2013 it will have spread so much that the production of cannabis and its associated industries could reach a value of $100 million per year. Now,
I mean, a lot of Turkish products used to be made out of hemp.
Yeah.
A lot of the drugs, a lot of the clothes that we have, the textiles and the fabrics that we've seen coming out of there, they were hemp-based at one time. It didn't turn over to cotton until years later.
Just so you know, we did get a comment on our post on the Reefer Reporters page about this story, and I will read it to you. The person says, serious warning. Turkey is the main nuclear victim of the Chernobyl disaster. Nothing grown in Turkey should ever be consumed. None of it is safe, even
it's all radioactive.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It would all be radioactive. Well, I mean, I'm sure it would be years before they came into production. Cannabis, they're more talking about the hemp industry right now. And as we know as well, planting massive amounts of hemp on radioactive soil will in fact clean up that soil. So there's nothing preventing them from taking the next 2 years of production, planting on a massive scale, cleaning up the system, plowing under, and then starting again with fresh, non-radioactive soil. So, I mean, there's a chance for advancement here for sure.
Yeah. Over time, that's for sure.
Yep.
Okay, on to our next story. The UK's first legal bulk cannabis shipment has finally arrived, and patients prescribed cannabis now don't have to wait months for the medicinal cannabis.
People jumping for joy at the prospect and saying, hooray, it's finally arrived. Well, not so much.
Yeah. The first bulk shipment of 800 grams of legal cannabis arrived in the UK from the Netherlands. I thought it'd be Canada. The Netherlands. It cleared customs.
It cleared customs, and it's on its way. Doctors and caregivers, patients who say cannabis helps them out with their conditions, have been waiting months and months for this never-ending deadlock battle between the government and the release of this medicine. So people are happy to see it come out. The problem is the price.
Oh, I could just imagine what the price is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, about $902 per patient per month per ounce. Is the price of their medicine if you equate it into US dollars from the British pound. So that's US. So Canadian dollars, you're well over $1,000 for an ounce.
Okay, so $900 for an ounce of medicinal cannabis, legal medicinal cannabis. Now, on the street, cannabis can be purchased for a third of that. It's like $300, right?
Right.
So are they charging? They say that, like I'm reading it almost sounds like the difference of $600 is because the one is tested and the other one's not. Because
triple the price.
Yeah.
Triple the price.
It costs that much to test it, doesn't it?
Yeah, triple the price of what's available on the illicit market, on the black market today, and there's no coverage for patients in the UK. I mean, this is all on the patient's back. A lot of these patients are kids, so it's up to the parents to purchase this medicine
Sure,
through legal means, and that means putting out over $1,000 a month.
Gee,
Into their oil.
they've got one example here of a 32-year-old patient who has Crohn's disease, and he's talking about how well it works for him.
Right.
He's prescribed 1 gram of dried bedrocan cannabis per day, which has a THC content of 22%.
Right.
He's paying $900 per ounce. Could you just imagine if Bedrocan was selling their cannabis here for $900 an ounce? How much
$900 an ounce. You get 1 gram a day on your prescription there, and that's not enough for most people's prescriptions to start with. Yeah, $900 a month in U.S. dollars. Of course, in the British pound, it's a lot more. Is $695 pounds. 695 pounds.
That's right, yeah. There's one doctor who... Go ahead.
I mean, it's just ludicrous that there's no way that this system will survive with these prices. Patients just simply can't afford it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, now that you have access to cannabis, well, now all of a sudden you got patients who can't afford to access it, so they still can't access the cannabis even though it's available in the country.
Yeah. Not a story that's on our list, but just a side note to another article that I read, which may be the reason why stats say that 72% of the market place for purchasing cannabis is likely to be retained by the gray or illicit market over the course of the next 2 years. Because of these issues, because of the price barriers, because of the tax barriers, and because of the availability barriers. These are major issues in the industry right now.
Yeah. I'm still just freaking over this $900. This is just
$900 for 1 ounce of cannabis. 1 gram per day would be your limit. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, who's got that?
Who's got that? That is outrageous. Really outrageous. Yeah. Okay, we got one more story here from Greece.
Yeah.
And then we're going to we got one story here that we've just had sent to us by the producer, and we'll get to that in a second. But
sounds good.
Right now we're going to head to Greece.
Okay, Greece. Greece is on board with legal cannabis, and their very first enterprise in Greece is a cannabis vending machine has been unveiled in the capital. Greece's very first cannabis vending machine is at the center of Athens, giving locals and tourists the opportunity to purchase from over 450 cannabis products.
450 products. Wow. I'll bet you their ounce in their machine doesn't cost $900.
I bet you it's not $900 an ounce. Yeah, not in Greece. Guaranteed that for sure. Owned by Hemp Oil, the director of the company said that the idea was presented to the company at the Bal Cannabis Expo, which was at Stamus. Oh God, it was somewhere anyway. Today, in the heart of the city, we will put another machine at the opposite White Tower in the opposite end of the city. The vending machine contains 450 products. People can pay cash or use a card.
Yeah, that's right. The vending machine, I should say the card. Now, they receive the products that contain cannabidiol, meaning that people cannot get stoned from this type of cannabis. So what kind of cannabis is in the machine? Just says 450 products.
Yeah. Maybe they're CBD only.
Maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't really say that there's THC in any of them. They could be CBD only, I suppose. But I'll have to look it up.
It doesn't say here anywhere.
No.
And I'm looking at the picture of the machine, and the machine says 100% legal cannabis, Italian top quality, outdoor cultivation, seedless buds.
So maybe
But
it's pure CBD or hemp.
24-hour service, it has that on there as well. It doesn't say, yeah, it doesn't say anywhere. That'd be interesting. I hope maybe we'll get a follow-up story to this.
Yeah, we'll have to look for more on that for sure. Interesting stuff.
Okay, now this upcoming story here that we just got sent to us. It's only been out for about an hour now. I don't know whether you have it in front of you there, Kim, or not.
Yeah, Toronto is looking to ban edible or gummy bears.
Gummy bears and candy being banned in Toronto.
Yeah, breaking news happening here on the Reefer Reporters. We're getting this through Blog Toronto. Canada's government gearing up to allow the sale of candies. Apparently, there's been a vote at Toronto City Hall. People are voicing their opposition to allowing cannabis gummy bear and gummy shaped products on the market in the city, and it looks like it's going to be voted to make them illegal within Toronto.
Oh wow! Let's hope not. I know the lady or the people behind the Toronto's Board of Health said that they wanted to ban them, citing drug impaired driving, early initiation of cannabis use, and frequent use are among the main public health concerns related to cannabis. Actually, the vote is going to happen in a week's time, Kim.
In a week's time. Okay,
Yeah.
So you guys need to get down to Toronto. All our Torontonian friends that are tuning in, you need to get down to Toronto. I mean, we have adult candy. The adult candy marketplace is one of the biggest industries in the candy business. Candy makers everywhere gear stuff and advertisings directed directly to adults. Why? Because we are the largest consumers of candy. Just because you're a grown-up doesn't mean you don't eat or like candy. We all still enjoy the candies. Yes, we like the funny shapes. Yes, we like the bears and the worms and the lollipops. I see adults everywhere eating them. I can attest to that myself. I have a 57-year-old husband and no kids in the house, and every week my shopping cart has candy in it when I go shopping with my husband. So, I mean, it's out there. We eat candy. This is no different. We have alcohol-infused chocolates that are shaped like bottles of booze. We have
rum balls.
Rum balls. We have vodka, prepackaged vodka candies that are in a lozenge, and then the center is filled with vodka made by Finlandia. We have Bailey's infused chocolates. We have Kahlua infused chocolates. We have candy on a stick shaped like male genitalia. We have candy on a saucer shaped like female genitalia. We have different apparatuses that can be used in the sex industry that are made out of candy, clothing that can be worn that is made out of candy. These are all adult candies, and we are sure to keep them away from kids. Cannabis-infused candies are exactly the same. They're no different.
You know, a small bottle of vodka could look like a small bottle of water to a child.
That's right.
A small bottle of amber rum could look like a small bottle of iced tea to a child.
That's right.
No one's looking to ban them.
Nobody looks to ban them. They're available in the grocery store and in Walmart at Halloween and at Christmas and at Valentine's Day. You can buy them in our local store.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. If you can trust parents to, look after much more dangerous things than gummies.
That's right.
Okay, gummy bears, just the shape that they're concerned about. Like, you can make these soft, chewable candies instead of looking like bears, make them look like squares.
Yeah, it can be a square. It can be any shape you want. I don't care.
But then it'll probably
all
look like
candy. All candy is appealing.
All candy is appealing. It doesn't matter.
It comes down to control. Okay,
Correct.
So the parents and the ones that are in charge of the child have to be in control and make sure that anything is not accessible to that kid that can put them in harm's way. That responsibility falls to the caregiver, not to government.
Yeah. Courts have already ruled that cannabis edibles, especially for patients, are, that was one in Owen Smith's court case.
Yep.
And
right.
You can go to the store and buy medicine that looks like vitamins and stuff that are all gummy bears.
That's right. A bottle of Flintstone vitamins will kill a child.
You've got cough syrup that is flavorful for kids, so they'll swallow it.
That's right.
They're not banning that, are they?
No, and that, depending on the size of the child, can cause death. And that's available over the counter. Yeah,
exactly. So let's make them, I don't know. Well, I can't shape them like cannabis leaves because, you can't have a child.
Wouldn't be allowed in Quebec.
That's right. It's ridiculous. People can make their own candies. People can make their own gummy bears at home.
I do.
By outlawing them in stores, this isn't going to change the things. People can still make their own. They're allowed to do that. So by stopping to sell them, how is that going to change it?
Not going to change anything.
People who want them will. People who want them will learn how to make them. Or people who want them, maybe they'll have a friend that can gift them some.
Yeah, that's right. There's always a way. You're not going to get rid of it.
No.
You might as well just climb on board. So I urge everybody, next week, Toronto City Council meeting, next week, talk about your cannabis-infused edibles and your right to consume them in the city of Toronto. Definitely go, speak up, have your say, because you can be damn sure the naysayers are going to be there.
That's right. That's for sure. Well, Kim, I think that's it. That's the end of the line.
Sounds good to me. It's been a very long day with a lot of news on tap. I'm sure it'll continue to be so, and we'll be back again next week with more.
Yeah. Now, all of the stories that we've discussed, other than the Legion thing it was just an opinion thing we discussed, will be on our Facebook page, the Reefer Reporters Facebook page. So you can follow up on those stories and get more information on them if you'd like. And other than that, that's our Reefer Report for February the 19th, 2019. And in closing, we'd like to say thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please share with your coworkers, the person behind you in the grocery line, and those who need to know. Until the next time, don't forget to educate, medicate, and do not incarcerate.
I'll catch you later.
Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyendinaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.